Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to The Faculty. This is a donation reward for Smurf Vlogs, and is something that I'm interested in despite knowing like pretty much nothing about it. I'm interested in it because of Smurf. Because even prior to his more recent previous donation reward, he had been kind of talking about wanting me to get to this and just kind of hype this up a little bit. So I don't know what this is. I've never heard of this movie. I've never heard of a movie called The Faculty before he started thinking about it and started preparing to suggest it. It's from the late 90s, and that's pretty much all I know. So, yeah, I don't know at all what to expect from this. I don't know who's in it. I don't know pretty much anything about this film. And as I've said in the past, I do like that. I prefer to go in as blind as possible because when I go into like a movie and it's like, oh, I know a bunch of stuff about this, it kind of takes away a lot of the surprise, a lot of the intrigue, a lot of the mystery on like what's this going to be, how's this going to play out. And sometimes a movie can still be good that way. Like it doesn't necessarily stop a movie from being good, but excuse me. But it doesn't leave as big of an impact when I know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what this is about, especially since Smurf has been kind of building this up for so long. Um, but without knowing anything about it, without knowing anyone who's in it, I can't say. Um, and obviously, you can't just assume based on the time period because pretty much every time period has had such a variety of different movies. It's not funny. Even the title is just very generic. Like the faculty kind of in my eyes applies to, um, in a lot of cases at least, work environments. And the time that throughout my life, have most heard the term faculty used is in regards to schools. Um, I've heard it used elsewhere, but the most time it's been for schools when people use that word. Um, and so maybe this has to do with characters in a school or something, but that's the only thing I could even kind of glean from this title. It says nothing. I don't know what kind of movie this is. I don't know if it's a drama, if it's a comedy, if it's a horror, a thriller. I don't know because this title tells me practically nothing. Because even the thing with the school thing, like I'm just kind of guessing based on where I've heard the term faculty used before. I have nothing to actually work off of there. So so I'm basically just trying to pad out these pre-thoughts to try and like not have it just be a minute long. Um, yeah, I just have nothing else to say. No, it's just there's not really anything to build up, not really anything to talk about, so we should probably just get into this and hope for the best. Most of Smurf's rewards have been good, though. I do enjoy most of them. There's only a couple, I think, like one or two that I really had issue with. And none of them I really straight up hated, I believe. Like, very few donation awards in general do I ever actually straight up hate. So it's very unlikely I feel that I'll hate this too. It's just I don't know how much I'm gonna like it because I know nothing about it. So we'll see though. We'll see. Um, so let's get this going, see what we have in store, and hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow links to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I wanted to look up a couple things in between recording the reaction and these afterthoughts. And first off, I look at the movie poster for this, and one of the characters who is front and center is Usher's character. Yet he was very minor in the film. But like in the poster, like um of all the characters, he's like the third one from the front. It kind of like paints him as if he's supposed to be important to the movie, but he's really not, like, at all. So it's a really interesting choice. Um, Also, apparently this film did do pretty well at its release in '98. It was a budget of 15 million and made 63.2 million at the box office. And though it was kind of mixed reviews, it has gained a cult following afterwards. And apparently, according to this, the film's influences include Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which was obvious, it was mentioned in the movie. But The Thing is an influence, which I definitely caught. It says Terminator is kind of seen as one as well, but it's like we know the one guy is from Terminator, T2 at least, but it's like I don't really see the connection to this film with that. Breakfast Club, I haven't seen that, so I can't say. But I guess maybe the group of students kind of thing. And Stepford Wives, and I don't know anything about that movie. And it says, and you've got a big mess of a movie set in a school that's being taken over by a conformist alien, one teacher at a time. You've got the very funny, occasionally scary, quite gory, and extremely entertaining 1998 Robert Rodriguez film, The Faculty. It wasn't really that gory. Like there was some blood and a little bit of gore to it, but it wasn't that much. I've seen much, much worse. And from much older films too. Um, so general thoughts on this movie is that this was very much a cult horror movie. It is very much a B horror. It's not it's not top tier by any means. It's ridiculous and goofy and a little stupid, but I think that works in its favor. I think what makes this movie enjoyable to watch is the fact that it's dumb. It's dumb. It's very clearly meant to be kind of ripping off other movies of this sort. And that's what kind of makes it fun. It's fun and enjoyable and ridiculous, but you kind of just can't help but be entertained by it. You can't help but look at it and just enjoy it for what it is. The actors were just kind of all over the place, admittedly. Some of them were pretty good, some of them not as much. There were a couple actors who felt extremely forced in their performances. Um, and then there were some who just kind of worked it out, but didn't quite like give like this great performance or anything. Um, Elijah Wood, for example, it's like he made it work, but it clearly wasn't a great performance. And throughout the years, we've seen much better from him. Lord of the Rings, especially, being a big example. But like you see all these different actors in this, and it's like, while none of them were like extremely bad or anything, some of them very much were not great. Um, the two main guys, not Elijah Wood, but like the former football player and the drug dealer guy, they were kind of the biggest example of the actors kind of just not being the greatest. At least at the time, maybe they've improved since then, but they were very clearly like you it felt like you were watching young actors trying to play a role rather than watching characters. They just didn't feel like they were believable or immersive with the film. Robert Patrick, most of the teachers were fine. The faculty themselves were fine. Mary Beth was probably the best actress in this, though, the best actor in general. Um, Her actress did a fantastic job, really sold the role both as Mary Beth and once revealed as the Alien Queen. And she just, she really did sell it the best. Um, so yeah, the acting was kind of mixed for me. The direction and camera work was okay, nothing to write home about. The soundtrack was okay, though at sometimes it got really cheesy, admittedly. Though it did have some really good songs in it, and one of them really fit. Um, Another brick in the wall with the lyrical content, even though it's obviously not quite the same, it still fit what this movie is going for, and it was actually a really funny inclusion thinking about it. And even Offspring's "The Kids Aren't All Right" kind of works in that way a little bit too, even though the song again is not really about anything in this film. Because if you listen to the lyrics of "The Kids Aren't All Right," it's not actually about kids. It's about after they've already grown up and how their lives have basically gone to shit. It's a really dark song, and it's actually inspired by the singer's life, um, and people he knew and stuff. But I'm not going to go into all of that history and stuff here. But it's really interesting. I would definitely suggest looking up the backstory behind that song. Um, but yeah, the horror aspects of this at times actually got really good, and I think that's what really kept me invested in this throughout the entire thing, is that there was a good horror aspect to this film. It actually pulled it off well without making it too ridiculously comical. Um, and I kind of appreciate that because so many movies, especially ones like this, would try to make it a little more funny, or it would be unintentionally funny. But here, it's like they actually went for a very serious tone with the horror themes, and I think pulled it off pretty well. Not amazingly, not the best. Again, I've seen better horror movies, both in terms of just the really good stuff and the cult classic stuff. But I think it's still it worked. They made it work. Um, and the pacing and story. The pacing, it could have been a little more consistent. I feel like there was a little bit of an inconsistency with it. Sometimes it was very quick and got to the point, but then there's other times where it did drag a little bit, and it made it feel weird because I never knew how far we were into the movie because of it. And so I actually kept looking at the recording timer to see, like, I'm like, okay, how far are we into this? I can't tell. And it's not like I was trying to see, like, oh, is it going to finally be over? No, because I was enjoying it, but I was unsure. I was so unsure about how far into the movie we were. I just wanted to check because the pacing was definitely off. The story itself, again, very much kind of playing with the idea and copying off of other stuff. It's not just like a inspired by situation. It's very clearly like taking these ideas and just straight up using them again. Like it is very, very much Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like you can very much see the thing in there, and it's like they're using things that are straight up from those movies. Like you see the one teacher's head crawling around with all the tendrils and stuff when she's after she's revealed to be an alien and stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, that's straight up the thing, 100%. Like they're not even hiding it. And again, the concept in general is very just Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which they straight up acknowledge in the film. And I think it's that acknowledgement that makes it work, in my opinion, because it's not just stealing an idea and trying to paint it off as your own. I feel Robert Rodriguez was trying to almost make this like not really a parody, but kind of an homage to those kind of films. He was trying to say like these are the kind of films that are that I loved and I still love. And we're going to do it here. And it's going to be silly, it's going to be ridiculous, it's going to be obviously a ripoff. But we're going to work with that. We're not going to make it too silly, but we're going to work with it nonetheless and try to make our own thing with it. And I can see why this kind of movie would gain a cult following like that. It makes sense. It works. And with the actors that are in this, especially all the big names, that also helps add to that. Um, so yeah, overall, I really did enjoy this. I had fun watching this, and trying to figure everything out. And there were some things that did not age well. I know this came out in a time where queer acceptance and everything was not at its greatest, and where queer people were used as an insult and made fun of and shit a lot. I understand that, and I understand that a lot of these actors or the people behind it, the writers, the director, they might have and probably have, hopefully have, gotten better with this kind of stuff throughout the years. But undeniably, just the fact that one of the characters, this girl, like, again, not really exactly the right term, but just saying it because I can't think of how else to word it. The fact that she kind of weaponizes being a lesbian, fakes being a lesbian, it bothers the shit out of me. It does. Um, and I don't know what they were going with the ending, by the way. Like, one of the couples getting together, Stokely and the one guy, it's like, yeah, there was at least something that built up to that. But then at the end, Elijah Wood's character and the bitch getting together, it's like, where the fuck did that come from? There was nothing there. Like the other couple at least had some prevalence throughout the film, even if they had no chemistry, they still had something throughout the film. This just came out of fucking nowhere. And it's just like, what? And also, a lot of these characters were super fucking unlikable. Even outside of even outside of Stokely weaponizing being gay and everything, the one other girl was such a fucking bitch. Delilah, I believe her name was. Like, oh my god, I hated her so fucking much. She was such a bitch. I think the only character I straight up liked. Okay, there were two characters I straight up liked. Mary Beth, who we found out was the alien queen, and it was just all the guys in the first place. but I liked her because she was very sweet, nice, kindly, but still had a little bit of snappy attitude to her. Um, and then Elijah Wood's character, who was probably the only, like outside of Mary Beth, the only really likable, nice character in this. Everyone else was just like either a dick, a bitch, or just you did things that were just really unlikably bad. And the entire thing also with the one student, the guy who's selling drugs and everything, with him and the one teacher, it just got like really fucking awkward in kind of a really gross way. And it's like, what the fuck were you going for there? Especially at the end where she's like in the stands watching him play football and she's like waving at him all like flirty. And it's like, oh my, ew. Oh, no, ew. Ew. Fuck that. It's like, that's just gross. That's just gross. And I don't know. So there were some things in this that did bother me a little bit for sure, but for the most part, I did have fun with this film. I enjoyed it well enough. It was entertaining, if nothing else. Um, but tell me in the comments, what did you think of The Faculty? And thank you again to Smurf Vlogs for choosing this as a donation reward. Smurf, if you or anyone else has any donation rewards you wish to select for me, always open. Go ahead. Anything is available. Can be animation, can be live action. Doesn't matter what the film is. You can choose to have me react to it with any amount donation. Any amount works. As long as you donate, you can have me react to it. And again, it can be anything. It can be a movie, it can be a series, it can be something on YouTube, does not matter. It can be anything in general as well, like any kind of movie, any kind of series, as long as I haven't seen it, it is fair game. And if it's a series that I have reacted to part of before but dropped for whatever reason, you can even have me bring back a series. Smurf has done this already with Owl House. Very successfully done this with Owl House, I should say. So yeah, and if you wish to donate a certain amount but want multiple reactions, you can even donate multiple times. Like if you have $10, you can do two $5 donations. You get two separate donation rewards for that, if you so choose. And keep in mind, do not try to worry about whether or not I'm going to like something or not, because you can never tell with me. It's impossible to try and figure out whether or not I'm going to like something. It's just kind of up in the air. So if there's something you would like to see me react to, just go with it. And it can be modern, it can be old, that doesn't matter or anything. Just go with it. And there's a lot I haven't seen, so there's a fair chance that you'll be good no matter what you choose, because there's a lot that I haven't seen. But you can check with me in the comments, anyways. And yeah, I'm excited to get 2 more donation rewards going forward. But as a reminder as well, this month of October, we are also doing movie reactions for the Halloween special. So keep in mind that too will be taking up some time. I should be able to get to all donation rewards as well still, excuse me. But just wanted to let you know that if 1 or 2 weeks here I might not be able to get to a donation reward, that's why. But I'm going to try my best to get to all of it. But yeah, so if you can and wish to donate, you can. It's completely optional. You don't have to. There will still be plenty of content on this channel, nonetheless, without having to worry about paying a dime. If you're not able to donate, don't feel obligated to. Only do so if you have the availability and the desire. It is completely optional. But either way, like I said, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this film. And in the meantime, yeah, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.